operating systems, software, cloud-based applications that you see all the time online and on your phone. You also have your mobile technology, all the different mobile apps. You can learn how to create some of those. We also have database and web programming languages. We also have standards, procedures, policies that you can write. You don't actually have to touch a physical computer. You can actually just write the technology policies for your organization. And you can also get into cybersecurity or just regular security or information assurance. This is huge. There are so many different branches and positions that you can get into cybersecurity or security in general. And then you can probably do what I'm doing, which is IT management and operations. I've already done all of the other things, so now I'm actually managing technology, so I'm hoping what I share with you today will inspire you to kind of pick one of these areas, or maybe some other areas related to this, to get into technology. And feel free to ask questions. If you have any questions at all throughout the presentation, I'm open to that. Now, another advantage too to being in technology is that you can be in any one of these positions here. You can be a customer service specialist. That could be anything from a help desk analyst to just a normal customer service. You can also be on the floor to be a desktop support specialist, be physically on the floor, working with end users, working with the systems live, real time. You can even work on the back end, be a systems engineer or land administrator or systems administrator, which is people who work with the systems and administer and track all of the equipment. Or you can be a database developer, work with all the different websites. You can also be an IT manager, or even go all the way up to be a chief information officer for some organizations where you're managing a bunch of technology teams. Well, again, you can actually get into the judicial system and be a forensic analyst. Or you can work with one of the three-letter organizations, CIA, FBI, NSA, NASA, some of those guys. And because technology is so versatile, you can be in just about any industry because they all use technology. That's how versatile it is. And depending on the federal agency that you apply for, they will even sponsor a secret clearance for you. That's usually the cost about $4,500. You can't just go to FBI and say, I just want to seek a clearance. You can actually get one just by having the correct tools right off the bat when you come out of high school. Now, what are the disadvantages? You have the good and your bad. So a lot of times you're going to do time. So while you're in high school now, this is a time where you can set yourself up to have these tools. When you come out of high school, you already have the tools, because look around this room. Any one of you are going to be competing with the person next to you for the same position. Is this lady better than this gentleman? Are these two ladies better than each other? Are these two gentlemen better than each other? This is up to you. If you have the certification, if you have the education, if you have the knowledge and the skills right out of high school, you're pretty much in advance. You have an advantage over the next person. Okay? So what is that time going to get you? You're going to need to take some type of technical training in one of these areas here. Any one of them. And there's probably a few others that's not up here, but these are sort of the most popular ones that we have out here. A project management. You can be any one of these. ITEL, which is a very simple class that you can take. It doesn't cost much money. All of these positions require some type of certification. So in addition to the fact that you have to have a high school diploma, you're also going to have some type of college education. You're also going to have a certification.
No, have a seat.
I can pretty much tell you about 89% of the time you're not going to get that job because you don't have a certification. Certification is really only required for you to just do some self-study and take an exam. And then when you come out with your degree, you have not only the degree, but you have your certification. And a lot of times they want you to have more than 2 years worth of experience. So I'm going to tell you a little bit how you can get a little bit of that while you're in high school right now. A lot of times these jobs, depending on what it is, you may have to work long hours. You might have to be on call. You might have to travel to different places, even out of state, because you're responsible for that technology that's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that technology is running and you're responsible for it. So a lot of times they're gonna have you be on call. They're gonna call you in the middle of the night. They're gonna call you when you're at the birthday party. They're gonna call you because they're gonna want that technology. So you have to be really strategic on what type of technology job you really wanna have in the end. And a lot of times these, you might be limited to the industries you can acquire because certain technology positions might require certain secret clearances in order to really make good money, okay? So depending on what type of technology you choose and depending on where you want to go, whether it be private or federal industry, that's going to be up to you on how you want to do that and how much money you want to make, how much you want to grow in your career. Because what I don't want you guys to do is be stuck into like one little category and just one technology. I want you to master 2 or 3 different ones, okay? So what's the certifications? Well, the lowest one is CompTIA. This is one of the lowest level certifications that you can get. Actually, right now, you can actually get the books. These are some of the ones. A+ is for hardware and software. Network is for networking. Security is your first level of those. I would highly suggest you get those 3. And then you can kind of span off. If you want to know how to write applications, you can get a Linux. If you want to work with mobile apps, you can get a Mobility Plus. Or if you want to work with the cloud or any one of these other ones, you can get your first level certification right now. You can go to Barnes & Noble or Amazon and pick yourself up an A+ book, Network Plus, and a Security Plus book right now, and a prep test. Self-study and take the exam. You don't have to be 18 to get this certification. Don't have to be 18. The next level is Microsoft. So we do have servers, desktops, applications, all the things that we use in the workplace. These are some of the certifications that you can get. These require a lot more exams to achieve these. Some of them require 2 and 3 exams to get 1 certification versus CompTIA is only, I'll say A+ is 2, but network is only 1 exam. But some of these other ones require 3 or 4 exams to pass in order to do these here. These jobs here make anywhere between $60,000 and $90,000. A+ makes anywhere between $25,000 and maybe $40,000. Anywhere as a first level and second. Then you have your Apple technician. So if you want to work at the Apple store or you want to fix Apple machines for a living, you can do that too. This is pretty much like the same as CompTIA, which is for Apple. You can also get web development, and this is the one my son has. He's only 16. He has an HTML5 CSS3. He's only 16. He took a technology course, and he's taking a 2nd-year technology course now. And so when he comes out of high school, he's going to have that certification and probably a couple others. Because I want him to have that advantage going in. Okay, I don't want him making a little bit of money. I want him to make a lot of money.
Yeah, me too.
On his own. Right? Now you can also do .NET, .apps, and Java. Huge programming languages. They make anywhere 6 figures. 6-figure salaries. Just because every time you go to a website, you see all those bells and whistles go on, somebody just got paid $100,000 for that. Okay? Project management is also what I have one of these. You don't have to touch any physical machines to do this. All you're doing is managing projects. You're managing other technology professionals do their work. And they make pretty good money. Database administration, another 6-figure salary if you know any of these programming languages. All the applications that you download on your computer and use, these folks write them. Okay? And then, of course, you have Microsoft. They have a database administration one. You also have data warehousing, business intelligence. And then you have service desk, which is an ITIL version 3. This is also in high demand. And then you have your cybersecurity. Most jobs are going to want you to have all 3 of these if you're trying to get into cybersecurity. And they want you to have a couple years of experience. Okay, so what do the salaries really look like? These are 2015 numbers. So as you can see up here, there's a, this is probably cut off a little bit, but you can computer support specialist. Okay, they got to have an ITEL, probably not even a college degree, because it's only like one test, but already they're making $50,000 just doing that. Okay? What about the HIPAA database administration? Up to $150,000. I'm not playing. This is real numbers. Okay? This is how much you make. Now, first level desktop support, as I said, $24,000 to $49,000. This is just for the 8 plus and the network plus. If you're coming in for the first time, try to get experience if you don't have prior experience. Or what if you were a Java developer? Up to 105. I'm up there in the IT management. That's where I'm at. Okay? So if you're trying to get to those levels, as you can see, you already have to get these degrees and these certifications. My son is going to come here, 51,000 at 18, 19. Okay? These are some of the other jobs. So if you can take a look in, I'm sorry it's cut off because of the projector. But as you can see already, if you're just coming out with a high school diploma, this is where you are, $22,794 at the lowest, plus tips. That'll probably get you about $400 per pay after a 2-week period. Okay? That's it. You don't want to get $400 after taxes, $600. But if you're a graphic designer, you know, you're looking at $58,000. Or if you're an elementary school teacher, you got to have at least a 4-year degree. That's $73,000. And so on. So this kind of gives you a sort of an idea. If you really want to know what today's numbers look like, you can go to bls.gov and they will show you how many people are in these jobs. How much are they actually getting paid? You know, what is the education level that you have to have that people today are hiring? Because when you go for these interviews, they're going to be sitting there saying, why should I hire you? That's the first question. Why should I pay you X amount of dollars? What value are you going to bring to my organization? You know, this is what they're going to do. And again, if you guys have questions, please yell out. Now, this one right here talks about the different genders. Now, I'm going to show this because I want to make sure that people clearly understand in technology where we are as far as gender, men and women. As you can see, there's more men in technology than there are women. Even though women are in technology, right now, for all the occupations, we only represent 46.9% out of 53. Last year, this number was 73%. But that just lets you know that women are slowly closing the gap on that. Okay? There are many factors why this is, but it lets you know, regardless of what the gender is, this is what you got to compete against. So even if it's not technology, this number is true for almost every occupation that you got out there. So if you go to bls.gov, you're going to see that there's a lot more men in these positions than there are women. So ladies, I encourage you to really get into technology. All right, so here's a sample job description, just so you can get an idea of what people are looking for. Okay, and this is a job description that I came to you today, no, 2 days ago, and I thought it'd be a good example. Okay, so the IT support analyst is responsible for providing technical support and various aspects of end user support, meaning that as soon as somebody calls and says their mouse is broke or they have a crash on their computer, you are Johnny on the spot at their desk figuring it out. Okay? You're also responsible for tracking hardware, and you're also responsible for mobile devices, iPhones, Androids, iPads, whatever. Okay? And you're also responsible for setting up video conferencing. So every time somebody has a meeting that requires video conferencing, you're there to set it up. That's all you do, right? But this is the realization. They want you to do all these things in addition to that. Okay? They want you to image your computer. They want you to put the operating system on and the applications and get it ready for deployment. They want you to also install it. That means lifting it up, putting it on the desk, getting up under the desk with people's shoes and stuff like that, hooking it in. It's true. It's true. You get dusty, you know? You do. You also have to track all this stuff. So if somebody borrows some equipment or you have to sign, you have to also track it. You also have to provide second tier, that means you're working